Matt, you weren't kidding. He can store anything on this, including the kitchen sink.
Yeah, he could if he was so inclined. Now, you brought up a good point earlier that we don't typically do house calls, right? But we knew in this case, this is the power body from Load and Go. And what's nice about it is the fact that we can come out here with all the tools that he'll have in this, just lift them off, leave this here, we can get the truck out of the way, do the work that we need to do, and this guy doesn't miss any work. It's a nice kind of a joint venture between Fleet West, which has these slip-in drop boxes that we've got. We've worked with these guys a lot in the past, and it's combined right there with the Aeronarch 150 all-in-one power system from Vanair. So this will give you all the storage room you need for your tools and all the power you're going to need as well. Nice.
Well, Matt talks about storage, man. There is tons of it. You got these little compartments on the back, the big ones along the side, and everything stays nice and secure. They're all lockable, so you're up inside doing your job. You don't have to worry about your tools getting stolen out of the back of your truck. And we talk about accessibility. Check this out. Drawer pulls out, you can hold up to 1,000 pounds back here, and it's easily accessible. The back of the bed, you can hold up to 2,000 pounds, so you can store and haul just about anything you need. And the great thing about it is, when you're done working, man, you can take one of these beds off right in your own garage, take the truck out, and you can have full access to your entire bed.
Now we've got the jacks in here that are part of it. We can lift it right off, or you can do it with a forklift.
Yep.
You know, if you've got one of those laying around, that makes life a lot easier. Now, I mentioned earlier that this is the power body system, which is a combination of the drop-in boxes from Fleet West and this. What this is, it's the Aeronarch 150 all-in-one power system from Vanair. And this is really nice because if you think about it, right here, this brain controls 4 different types of power that we'd have out on the job site. First of all, we've got 5 kW generator power right there. We can plug things in right there. It's nice and easy. We've got 20 CFM right here, so we can run all of our pneumatic air tools. We've got 150 amp welding capabilities right down here in the corner, which is great for stick welding. And right up here, another nice feature is we've got 12 or 24 jumping capabilities. So think about this. We got a dead battery out on the job site. It could be in the truck or a car, one of your pieces of equipment goes down. We can jump it off right on here. You know what's cool about this is the fact that we don't have a welder and a compressor and a generator all rolling around in the bed of the truck taking up space. It's all in one spot, and this brain right here controls everything. So there's no jumping in and out of the back of the truck all the time. Real nice.
Now, Matt explained to you guys how the Aeronarch 150 from Vanair works, but I like to get a little more hands-on. I got tools laying around. I like to jump in and help, and this is plugged into our system. So we've got the generator going. Now it's time to do a little cutting, help out the boys. There's other things you can do with this system. You know, you need a little welding done on the job site. Now, they've got you covered. And one of the cool patented features they have from Vanair is the stick itself. All the controls are built right into it. So you can adjust your power settings right here. Power on, you even got a boost button. Boost, man, that's pretty cool. This way you don't have to run back and forth because you're wasting time and energy running back and forth. So that is pretty cool. Now I get it back to work though. I gotta help these framers out, knock out some 2x4s.
Hey, excuse me, Bob Vila. We have a how-to show about trucks, right?
Yeah.
I think you're losing focus.
That happens, buddy.
It is cool, but we need to finish up and get that Fleet West box off. That way we can finally get out of here.
Task in hand, buddy.
I gotta reel this kid in every now and then. Reel him in.
All right, so good. That's positive.
Yeah. Cool. Welcome back to TruckU. So we've got the truck back into the shop. Now we're a little bit more in our element. He can keep working, so that's good, right? Now what we need to do is address a couple of the issues that he was complaining about. He had a little bit of loose steering, he was saying. We noticed a little bit of uneven wear in the tires, so we can take a look at all that too.
Usually means something's going to be going on with the tie rods. I've been hearing, you know, a visual inspection will tell you, look right here,
yep.
And you've got the boot is torn, and not only torn, it's torn all the way around. So what's going to happen, obviously, is all the grease is going to come out, and you're going to get a bunch of dirt and debris, and especially that this is going on in a work site. You know, he's in rough environments, and all that's going to do is wear out that tie rod end, and that's going to cause a lot of damage. So first thing we're going to do is get this out of the way and put a new one in from Moog.
Again, Moog is all over the NASCAR circuit. All the crew chiefs are using Moog parts. They really are like the steering and suspension solutions, so it's nice. Good parts, man.
Like Matt says, they have pretty much everything, including the ball joints for your upper and lower control arms. So you need a suspension part, Moog's a great place to go. Thankfully, though, this is about all we need for the front of this truck. So once Matt swaps out the tie rod on this side, we can go ahead and do the same thing on the passenger side. Then our suspension is done. It's just a matter of checking the alignment. But while the truck's up in the air, we're going to go ahead and swap out the exhaust system with a brand new kit from MagnaFlow. So Matt and I have gone ahead and unbolted the back of our exhaust system. That's all out of the way. The only sticking point we've hit is the catalytic converter. It's a bit of a clearance issue here, but thanks to the guys at MagnaFlow, we've got a pretty good fix. So what it is they've sent us an entire system, includes a new catalytic converter that's much smaller in diameter, so we can finagle it through here. The problem we've got is this catalytic converter, we can't get it out of the way without removing these cross members. So because we've got a new one, we can cut the old one off the back of the flange here, drop it out of the way, and we are good to go.
See, look at that. Look at all this room we've got, right?
Much better.
So we've got the stock exhaust out of the way, and that gives us a lot of wide open spaces back here. Now's a great time to install the new hitch. This is the one that we've got. It's the Super Hitch Magnum from Torque Lift International. This thing is big and bad, and the cool part is this dude's hauling trailers all the time, right? And it could vary as far as the weight goes from day to day. He doesn't know what he's going to be hauling around.
Yeah, you know, Matt, the first thing I noticed after doing a visual inspection of the old one versus the new one, this is the big dog, man. It's a beefy piece.
It is a beefy piece.
You know, so much so we're going to up our towing capacity up to 20,000 pounds. It's literally the strongest one in the market.
Now, another issue that you can have with the standard hitch right there, if you take a look at it and you think about the trailer being pulled down the road, all the weight is on the pin that's going through right there. That's a lot of weight and a lot of stress. And over time, you know, pulling forward, backing up, this, that, the other, the pin can kind of egg this hole out a little bit. So what the guys did at Torque Lift International is really nice. And you see that right here on the sides. They put these washers on and welded them on. Gives extra reinforcement where the pinhole is right there. That baby's going to hold up.
Yeah, now with the dual receiver, you're spreading it over two, so it's not all on one pin. And also they've got an insert right here, which can go from 2.5 inch to down to 2, depending on your application. So it kind of fits more applications that way, which is nice. Now, we got to get these side mounts in place. These brackets will go right here into the factory location. Depending on your application, you might want to loosen up the spare tire so we can move it around and get a little more wiggle room, but I think we're good right here. So once we got our cross tube set up in place, what we've done is use some vice grips to hold it there, and I actually stuck another bolt through the hole just to make sure everything locates. Then we're going to use a rib neck bolt, and what the whole idea behind this is we'll set it in, and you hammer it the rest of the way, and basically what it's doing is putting these splines in through the steel so it won't rotate going down the road. It'll help things from a situation where we're egging those bolts out here on the back. It'll do the same kind of thing up front. It won't allow this thing to rotate once it's in place.
This is going to be a nice addition to this truck.
With that old exhaust system out of the way, we had plenty of wiggle room to go ahead and put in that new 20,000 pound hitch. Now that's in place, it's time to put in our brand new Black Series exhaust system from MagnaFlow. Man, you guys know the deal with MagnaFlow. Stuff's gonna sound good and it's gonna perform. The reason why, you know, first of all, it's made of all stainless steel. You've got the mandrel bend, so you get a nice flow out of the engine. You know, the engine's like a big air pump. We always talk about it. You get the air out, you're gonna get better performance. Now, I don't know about you guys, when we talk about sound in a diesel truck, there's nothing like having those aftermarket exhausts sound like one from MagnaFlow. That sound is just so much better when you step on the gas.
It sounds good. Like you said, the performance is going to be upgraded. It's just a total improvement as far as drive quality goes.
Yeah, without a question, man. And you know, the black look is something I really like as well.
I do too. It looks aggressive. It looks mean. You know, so you get all that good sound that you want with the cool look. And let's face it, looks are part of it.
So this is where the magic happens in terms of the exhaust. It's all about the muffler. Nice flow-through muffler. It's going to give us good performance and good sound.
You talk about the flow-through, which is kind of the opposite of what we were replacing. You take a look at the stock configuration, what we pulled out a couple of minutes ago, and it's kind of funny. You know, you look at the huge restriction there. Again, Bruno and I, we talk about the fact that it's all about getting as much air through there as you possibly can. So little restriction there, big restriction on the muffler. Now it comes back to the tip right there, and that was actually the result of an accident, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't think that's a factory tip.
No, that does not look stock.
In spite of the aftermarket Venturi effect, which they were able to manufacture on that stock exhaust right there, I'm still going to go on record and say that this MagnaFlow Black Series is going to be a noticeable improvement.
I'm going to agree with you there, bud. All we got to do is finish putting this stuff in place, and like with any exhaust system, you want to make sure you get everything set where you want it, then tighten it all down, and then we will be done with this exhaust. And I think, Matt, it's time for you to break out that lab coat that you love so much.
I do love going to the lab.
I know you do, man. Science time.
I don't know what happened. I wasn't a science geek until like my mid-30s or something.
Anytime you mess with the steering of a vehicle, you need to go ahead and check the alignment. More often than not, it's going to be out of whack and it needs to be adjusted. Now, this is the point where we typically send it down to our buddy's alignment shop and let them do the work for us. The thing is, over the course of time, that starts adding up. It costs you money and it can cost you time. Now, like today, we are in a crunch to get this thing back to the work site, and they don't happen to be on the same time schedule as us. So thanks to the guys at Alignment Simple Solutions and the Quick Trick Pro Alignment System, we can do that all right here in our own shop.
Now, when it comes down to alignment, you're checking three things. You've got caster, camber, and toe. But what are those, you may be asking, right? Let's take a real quick look down to the toys. I love this part right here. So camber, you think about it like this. Here's the tires, and they can be leaning in or leaning out. That's your camber. Your toe is if you've got this problem, that's really bad. That's towed out. This would be towed in when the tires are kind of leaning in towards each other, and that's actually broken. Sorry about that. All right, caster, think about it like this. You kind of roll the whole system up, and as it turns, you know, it's shaking the whole vehicle. There's a lot of wear and tear on the front too. 9 times out of 10, though, the issue is with your camber or your toe, and that's a real easy thing to check. We can check the caster too, but all we have to do is put this bracket on, and we got our camber and our toe situations taken care of.
Yeah, it's a nice, easy system. It doesn't take up any kind of floor space. It's portable and it's accurate. It allows guys like us to do it in our own shop. So we've got our bracketry set into place, and we've got a nice fixture to work off of. So what we're going to do is first level out, zero out our digital level, and then we'll put it on to see if we've got camber and to what degree. Now we've done the other side, and I believe we're at 1.9 negative. That means it's leaning in a little bit. And this side, where are we at?
Well, it's falling in at 1.6 negative.
Okay, so now we got the numbers, and we need to go ahead and check to make sure that it's within tolerance. Now, the other thing we're going to check too is toe in and toe out, and this is a great way to do it. Now, if you've ever done it on your own without a system like this, it's a lot of eyeballing. There's a lot of margin for error, so to speak, because you're running the strings and your guests working back and forth. With this system, there's slots here for the tape measure where it slides into place and holds it. And what it is you got a little contrast from the red and the black numbers that allows you to see your measurements accurately. Now the thing is, I'm pulling away just to show you guys where it is. Obviously you'd run the tape measure underneath to the other side.
There's no arguments with this, which is going to be nice, especially in this shop too. So the good thing is we can check it out, and this will actually tell us whether or not we have to go to the alignment shop. So that's where the Quick Trip Pro alignment system comes in handy. We may not need to go.
Yeah. So today we set an own record of sorts, man. We got a lot done in a short period of time, so fast that he's actually still working on the job site. We got the load and go back in the truck, and there's one less thing we're going to address for him, and that is when it comes to towing. You know, when they hook up this dump trailer, they really load the thing down, and when he hooks up to the truck, by the time he's got everything set up, man, it really drops it to the ground, and you know, that's not safe for driving around town.
For the record, we're early, but no, you're absolutely right. And what this is from TorqueLift is a weight distribution system. That's what the hitch is all about. Ideally, the whole concept right here is to take a heavy tongue weight like we've got, and instead of just hanging it on the hitch and having all that weight right there, it redistributes everything, right? So you've got it going back, utilizing the suspension of the trailer, utilizing the suspension of the truck over the rear and the front axle. That's the whole name of the game, and it's going to make things a lot safer, like what you were talking about.
Yeah, and the way it does is by using these weight distribution bars, and you're going to actually tighten up with the chain, so you're taking some of that weight off the hitch and you're moving it back to here. In the weight distribution system from TorqueLift, you get the hydraulic assist hookup clip, so you don't have to manually tension the spring bar.
They also offer the manual assist, which is good if you're unhooking the trailer a lot in any given day. Not to mention it's the highest capacity on the market, hence the name Everest.
Hey, we're going to do a complete total overhaul for this guy, and you know what? It will reflect in his bill, so that's all good.